Hey guys, Bree here from Mission Wild Crochet. Last week you'll remember that I got the London Kaye crochet hooks that went along with my book. So this week I'm going to go ahead and give you a full review and we're going to test out this hook together. Stay tuned. Let's jump right in. So here's our London Kaye hook that I'm going to be testing out today. This is the pink one. That's the 11.5. And it's got this cute little smiley face, which let's pull it out here. I'll show you on the bottom. Right here on the bottom, there's also a little smiley face. That's how you know which hook is which. Well, I mean. It does say on here, London Kaye. It also says on here, London Kaye, the 11.5. And I'm just going to test it out because I'm planning on making one of her beautiful patterns. I'm just testing it out with a little bit of worsted weight yarn that I have double stranded. I already have the slip one out made to save a little time here. And let's give a little try to see how it feels when we're to make chains here. I'm just going to make a couple chains. We'll see how it feels. Now, I will say, first thing I'm noticing. All right, let me try and get close to the camera here so you can see. I will say that already this twisty part for me, it's going to take a little getting used to. I like a thumb grip, but it doesn't feel the most natural thing. The twist doesn't. I think it's something I could adapt to and I could get used to. But it seems to be sliding through the yarn okay. There is a little bit though, as I'm like, after I yarn over and I'm going to pull up the loop, when I'm going to pull my loop down to make sure that I'm still maintaining the right, size loop and to keep the loops the same size, like, because this is the shape it is, it's almost like a little pyramid right here. It kind of goes up and then it goes back down. It does kind of catch there, and it makes me a little concerned that my loops are not all going to be the same size, because like I kind of depend upon this part to make sure that my loops are the right size. But I could see, because it slopes down, I mean, am I looking at right here, like the very top for the correct size, or is it a little bit lower? So I'm a little concerned about that. So I'm going to do a few more chains and then I'll meet up with you when I'm ready to put my first stitches in. I've got my chain all done. Let's jump into our first single crochet. So the pattern's calling for just single crocheting across for the first row. As you can see, I'm struggling a little bit. There's a little bit of drag. But part of this, I think, is like user error because I'm still kind of getting used to it. But, I mean, it's a little bit of a struggle. You got to figure it's the first time I've picked this hook up and this yarn together. Plus, I'm working with double stranding. So that all adds a little extra challenge. But let me go ahead and get a little bit done and I'll meet back up with you. Well, guys, it's been a couple of days and I have given this hook a good try. And I've got a few thoughts since I've been working with it for a couple of days. So I'm working on a pattern from London Kaye, and it is for her flowers. Now this is going to look like a hot mess, so just like heads up, because it doesn't look like a flower yet because I haven't put it together to be a flower. But I crocheted this piece here. I'm going to hold it up. Let me hold this up here so you can kind of see. It definitely creates like a more open fabric, which is what it was supposed to do. And I was able to crochet this fairly quickly. I made one today and I made most of one yesterday and finished it today. So here are my final thoughts. I do believe that probably some of the other hooks are going to need just a little bit of like sanding, maybe just take the nail file over some of the rough spots. But this one, I did not. I chose to just straight up just work with it as is out of the package. And it performed pretty well. I will say that the grip, because it's got that twisty handle, it did take a little bit of getting used to. But once I got the hang of it, it wasn't too bad. Now, I will say I was giving it, you know, props for being, like, it seemed like plenty long. The way I had to hold in my hand to, like, for my hand to really conform to the twist, it didn't make the handle shorten up a little bit. But it wasn't too bad. Like, it didn't rub in this area, which hooks tend to do when they're way too short. So I didn't have any problems there. I had a normal amount of hand cramping or working on a project with thick yarn. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing spectacular to report. I think if you're going to go out and buy the book, which I'm definitely still recommending the book. If you're going to go out and buy the book and you can get the hooks too, I say, you know, go for it. I say, you know, if you like the idea of the twisted handle, the neon colors, because like the colors are very vibrant. I mean, it kind of matches my scrunchie there. I like the colors a lot. If you like all that, you like the added bit of, you know, whimsicalness by, you know, the little stamp on the bottom, I think these could be a good addition to your, you know, to your already, you know, probably growing collection, if your collection's anything like mine, of hooks. Now, would I say these are a must, you have to have these? No, not necessarily. I mean, if you already have hooks that are that size, you know, whatever the pattern's calling for, like this is the 11.5, I would say you can use whatever you're already comfortable with. These were not like a huge game changer for me. I will say though, I like that they're aesthetically pleasing, and I like the idea of using something with a little bit different grip. It was kind of like, it made it a little bit more interesting to crochet because I had to switch up, you know, the grip, and the hook was just a little bit different. So for me, like, it wasn't too different. Did take a little bit of time to adapt, but I mean, before I was done with my first row, I already was adapted to the shape of these. These were not hard to figure out how to grip that works for your hand, and they didn't cramp my hand up anymore. I think if you don't have these sizes, I think these could be a good choice if you're into the twisted grip. I think they could be a good choice for that. Now, would I say, oh, you should replace all your hooks with a twisted grip like this? Probably not. Unless, you know, you like that better and you need all new hooks. But I will say, I think they're going to be great for what I'm doing. I'm going to continue to use this hook for the yarn bombing project that I have. So next week, you can expect the next installation of my whole series that I've got going on with yarn bombing. And I'm hoping to be able to show you how we actually turn what looks like a little bit of a hot mess into roses for my project, for my big yarn bombing project to come. So stay tuned until next week when I can show you how my yarn bombing project is coming along, and pretty soon I'll have a completed project to show you. I'm pretty excited about that, so make sure you stay tuned next week. But until then, take care.